Okay, so the first thing to do will be to not use the software, in fact, but the hardware manager program in order to set up, of course, different IP addresses to our SLESA-UE7, or make sure they're using DHCP, which is automatic addressing system. This depends on your local network and the router you're using. So I am using a DHCP enabled router here, so I'm gonna authorize the DHCP on each of my SLESA-UE7. But you always have the possibility to set up different IP addresses, and this has to be done with the hardware manager program. Of course, if you want to accept, might be me, but I keep losing sound. Okay, so anyone with the same problem, or just John? Just to make sure we start in correct condition. I think he's left the conversation, so maybe he's gonna come back again and try. It's okay. Okay, thank you, Fabio. Okay, so what I said was there is one thing very important if you want to access the network settings of your DMX controller, whether this is the SLESA-UE7 or StickDE3 or the upcoming products. It is important to do that over USB. There is no way to update, change the settings, IP address, gateway, or whatever like that, if you connect it over the network. I mean, we do not authorize this. It can be done over USB only. So what I'm going to do now is start the hardware manager program, which is included with the ESA Pro 2 installation. So as you can see, my hardware manager has found one SLESA-UE7B, which is a SLESA-UE7 connected over USB, and two other interfaces connected over Ethernet. So in fact, the first one is the same device, and this one is the second interface I'm going to use. So you can see here with the different serial numbers. So 13486 is the second one, and the first one, which is connected over USB and Ethernet, is 129.357. So if you want to do that, make sure you always download the latest firmware available. It's very important. And in any case, the other manager should tell you when you start it that you have to upgrade the firmware anyway. So how to change those LAN settings? So you must browse those different tabs here and go to the Ethernet one. And this is the place where you have to set up the your configuration. So by default, each of our device are using the same IP address, which is like a basic standard local network IP address, which is 192.168.120. Imagine you have like 2, 3, 4 or more devices. You will have to update that last number in order to have them using different IP address. Here, I have selected the DHCP, which means that whatever you enter here, this won't affect the interface, as the interface will receive the DHCP. All those information will be received from the router. So if you select this way, you're sure that the interfaces will always have like different IP addresses on the network. So imagine you have 10, 20, you don't have to worry about that. So that's the first thing to do. As long as you want to work with IP address and Ethernet devices, you have to set up those information. So two solutions, DHCP or force the IP address. And in that case, if I wanted to not use DHCP, I would have to select a different IP address for this one or for the second one in order to have them recognized on the network. So when you're done with that, you can close the Hardware Manager program. And if I'm lucky, I should be able now to see those interfaces with the ESA Pro 2 software. So to do that, just need to open like this button here, Settings, Import Device, and here, yes, I'm lucky. I have two SLESA-UE7B. Okay, and with two serial numbers, so 130.486 for the first one, 129.357 for the second one. As you can see, they are all named with the default name, which is not in fact a good idea. I mean, this is the default one, SLESA-UE7B, but I do recommend to update those names for future use because this is it's going to be easier than to understand where are your interfaces. It's always better than looking at the serial number. So if you wanted to do that, let's go back to Hardware Manager. I should have started with this before. You need to open the device and where do you change the device name? Settings. You need to go to settings. And for example, this one could be like, let's call it garden or settings. Okay. And imagine now the second one. Let's do that. I'm not sure I can do that over Ethernet. No, I can't. You need to do that over USB. Anyway, let's have just one now, and you will see like how they are naming to the software. So like settings, input device, and you can see I have. Well, there is one more connected in the network here, which might be someone in the office using the. Oh no, in fact, it's 2 times the same one. Maybe I need to open it again. Import device. Well, I don't know why I've got 2 times the same one. Let me check if it works. Okay, and they both turn to PC mode, which means that there is a little display on the device that either show the SIN number when you're standalone, or PC when the interface is working and recognized either by the software or Hardware Manager program. There is a third state for that display on the device, which can be off. Off means that the interface has nothing saved into the memory. For example, imagine you have like an empty memory SD card or something that is not readable by the interface. The interface won't be able to operate a standalone show, and therefore off will be written on this display. Here, you need to believe me, in fact, as you cannot see it, but there is a PC on the first one and PC on the second one. Okay, so here I might, what's going on? Come on. Sorry for that. Okay, so I've got 2 interfaces here. The one is named Garden, and the second one, SLESA-UE7B, with the 2 serial number. So the first thing to do, of course, will be to create a show, so we could try more universes. So imagine we're going to do something very simple, like RGB white. Let's say, for example, 50 products. Okay. And now we will have to patch them on 4 different universes. So let's create 4 universes. I have got like 2 with the first SLESA-UE7 and the next 2 with the second one. And then, okay, so select this one, patch universe 1, patch, okay. Select this one again, universe 2, patch. So I get now 10 here, 10 here. Universe 3, the next one, Okay, patch, and finally the remaining RGB white products on the last universe patch. So you can see now I have 10 device here, 10 here, 10 here, and the last one, 20 on the last universe. You could do whatever you want, of course. I just want, this is not the purpose of the webinar today, so I don't want to lose too much time with this. The idea is to see how to write the memory. Of course, you could use like full the full universe, so which means 512 channels for the first universe and so on for those for the total or 2048 DMX channels with two SLESA-UE7. And again, the limit is in terms of, I guess the SLESA-UE7 is able to manage 20 DMX interface at the same time, which for a total of 40 DMX universe. So how it's going to work? We are going to create a couple of scenes. Let's rename this one. For example, let's call it blackout. Okay. Second one, right click, rename. Right. Remember, we can drag and drop the block from the here, from the right view, drag it here. I say white, so press that button, increase to white. Okay, this is not full white here, now it is. Okay, okay. And let us create something like a rainbow, for example. Rainbow, okay. And drag it to the view. Okay, so I've got three scenes, sorry. And they are playing on different universes. So as you can see, I have like universe 2, 3, and 4. So now let's go to the standalone view. There is a little mistake on that view. We are aware of that. This is going to be fixed soon. As you can see, when I select a device, one of the SLESA-UE7, I have here in the output section 3 DMX universe, which is not correct, as this device is able to output 2 universes only. So I'll have here to make a little change to make sure like there is nothing sent to that output 3. So with that window, you are going to be able to patch the DMX universes to the interfaces output. So the first one has 2 outputs, so I could use like DMX universe 1. This is the software universe, and this is the interface SLESA-UE7 output. So universe 1 for this one, universe 2 for this one. And let's select something that we don't use here, just to make sure the universe 3 is not patched to that interface. And we can do the same now to the second one. So, but instead of using 1 and 2, of course, we're going to use universe 3 and universe 4. And do this again, take like 99, just to make sure we are not doing something crazy. Of course, you won't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that. And this is just like a mistake with the software version I'm using today. So garden 1, 2, and the second one 3 and 4. So now we are ready to patch our scenes. One little thing before, we can here see like the IP address of the device. You can see IP address is 162. So my local network has given this IP address to the interface. So now what we have to do, you need to understand how it works. In fact, to make those SLESA-UE7 working together, the software has to, but of course you have to configure this as to know what interface will be the master and which one will be the slave. To quickly summarize, it will work like this. You are going to have a master that is going to send all a kind of time code to the other scene and make sure they get synchronized. This is not only starting the scene at the same time, which could be easier to do, but here, what the interfaces are going to do, imagine you have like a complete, like a 10-minute sequence, very like with a lot of change. They will always be synchronized. As the main interface, the slave, is going to send a time code over the local network, and the other slave interface will sync to this time code and make sure they send the correct DMX information. So we have to set up this. So the idea will be to, for example, let's say we want this garden interface to be the master. You will have to right-click, and you can see set master or add slave. There are like two options. You can either select all the slave and add them a master, or add a slave interface like this, for example. You can see that now I have one interface as a master and the second one as a slave. So this is the master with one slave, and this is the slave. You could eventually like do in the opposite way and like remove slave, for example, and for example here set master and put garden. Okay, so now the garden is back to the master state. As long as you've done that, you only have to worry about the one interface. Talking about the patching the scenes. As long as you're going to write a scene or send a scene to the garden, which is our master scene, all slave will receive the same information. So for example, let's say we want to send us this blackout. So I have sent the blackout scene to the global page of the master SLESA-UE7, and if I open the slave unit, you can see that the interface has copied the same scene. So you could do that with the white as well. So I've sent the white to the slave, and the master got the same information. So now the rainbow one is the missing one. Okay, so I've got now blackout, rainbow, and white, and here blackout, rainbow, white. So same information. As long as you've done that, there's nothing else you have to worry about. The software is going to write the right information to each of the SLESA-UE7. In fact, what it's going to do is split the DMX information to make sure like each SLESA-UE7 sent the right signal to the connected light. So universe 1 and 2 for the garden SLESA-UE7, and universe 3 and 4 for the second unit. And now what you have to do is press the right button to write the standalone memory. So very basic, and it will take a bit longer, as of course you have to write all those information to the unit. But this is how it's going to work. This feature is available with SLESA-UE7 and will be available with the new device as well. There is one important thing I want to talk about is the stick DE3 and stick KE2. You can see here at the just to avoid misunderstanding. There is this sync button here, which is for KE1, KE2, or DE3, which is a completely different stuff. This is not to extend or scale a number of DMX universe, but to have several stick DE3 or KE2 working together as master slave Let's say, for example, you've got a movie theater with one stick D3 at the lobby, and you want to have some slave stick D3 stick panel on different rooms inside the movie theater. You'll be able to do that here and give the opportunity to the user to change the complete lighting from the lobby and have only limited access to the slave device. This means they will have the access to only to the local lights, so room 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So this feature doesn't allow to extend the number of DMX universe. Whether you have 1, 2, 3, or 10 stick D3 connected, it stays limited to 2 DMX universe, which is the number of universe of one stick D3. The only solution to extend the number of universe is the SLESA-UE7. The other device are not able to do that. SLESA-UE7 or the DNAT DR1, which is the future device. Okay, so I guess I'm done with that. As you've seen, this was not very complicated to do. One important thing, by the way, very specific to the SLESA-UE7, as long as the SLESA or several SLESA-UE7 are using like this sync protocol, which means you have one master and 1, 2, 3, or whatever slave. It is no longer possible to use other Ethernet features. What I'm talking about is, imagine you want to use like our mobile apps to start the lights, or it won't be possible. What is also not possible is to integrate this this master scene with a home automation system, for example, and send some Ethernet commands over the network. This won't be available as well. This is a limited feature, I know, but this the CPU, the computer inside the SLESA-UE7 is not powerful enough to run both operations at the same time. So this is either standard Ethernet protocol or our synchronization protocol. It is impossible to have them work together. Okay, so I guess I have done everything. You're now able to use this SLESA-UE7 with multiple universe. If you have any question, feel free to ask them now by text, or open the microphone if you prefer, and I'll be happy to answer, or if you have any other question about the software. No question. As usual, you'll be able to watch the video tutorial on our YouTube channel, and give us just like a couple of hours to update a couple of soundtrack or whatever and logo, and we will then upload to the YouTube channel. So this is the place where you can find all the webinars. No question? Everyone is now ready to use SLESA-UE7 synchronization for more DMX universe. Okay, so if no question, then we're done for today. 26 minutes. It's almost like 30. I fit 30. I'm good at this. So see you next week then. I guess I can't remember what we're going to talk about next week. What is the program? I need to check this out. Oh yeah, we are. I'm going to go a bit further, like deep into the pixel mapping effect. So remember, we've seen the timeline programming like 2 weeks ago, I guess, and we will next week spend a bit more time with complex pixel mapping effects. So playing with the different options, with the layers, and with the blending modes. Okay, guys, have a good day, and stay safe, and see you next week. Bye bye.